go on this journey with me. I just thought of this.
Take me on
Um,
this journey, Bob.
a use for sanctuary.
You lost me.
All right.
I want to go on a different journey.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Aura of Vitality.
Health, bodily wellness. Yeah, that's the word I want.
Yeah.
This is a third level spell from the player's handbook. It used to only work for paladins. It used to be paladin exclusive. Now it is, as of Tosh's called and everything, a cleric druid paladin spell. This is cast time of an action, range 30 foot, or range of self, 30-foot radius, so 30 feet within around you. Verbal components, concentration, up to a minute. Healing energy radiates from you in an aura within a 30-foot radius. Until the spell ends, the aura moves with you, centered on you. You can use a bonus action to cause one creature in the area, including you, to regain 2d6 hit points.
All right. I know you don't like this one. I feel like I like it, but you're going to tell me why I'm wrong.
Okay, we just talked about Healing Spirit, which
And
is a
in
little.
that video, we talked about this. I mislabeled it. I called it Aura of Life. That's a different spell. I was referring to this one.
I was thinking you were talking about Aura of Life, and I'm like, that gets you from 0 to 1. That's trash.
Oh,
It is worse than this by quite a bit.
okay.
This, I have talked crap about it a lot. It is substantially worse than Healing Word. I also think it's probably worse than Mass Healing Word by a good amount. Mass Healing Word is also a cleric 3rd level spell. It's not a druid 3rd level spell, to my knowledge. I don't think it was added in Tosches, but I could be wrong. So it has that going forward that druids could take this as a way to get multiple bonus action heals. If you're gonna do that, you might want Healing Spirit, and you might, if you don't probably want Healing Spirit, you just want Healing Word. So, like, the in-combat use case of it, I am pretty down on. I don't think this is a spell you want up in combat, really, ever. It's been correctly pointed out to me by commoners every single time I shit on the spell that it is a huge amount of hit points for a minute. So if you do the dice calculator real quick, 10 rounds of 2d6 damage is 70 hit points divided up amongst your crew, however you'd like. For a 3rd level spell, that is a large amount of hit points to divvy up among the party. That is often going to get 2 to 3 people back to full HP from wherever they are. That does buy you a lot of rounds in the next combat, and that is meaningful for a utility thing. Like, this is enough healing that I think you can justify casting it as a 3rd level spell on cleric or druid whenever you're looking to be like an extra bulwark of hit points in a particularly grindy game. Like, if you're going to be fighting 2 or 3 encounters, maybe even 4 encounters, I can see this being we're going to patch everyone up with 70 hit points divided up as we need them, 1 bonus action at a time over a minute.
This is maybe the first spell I've considered. What about hybrid? In combat, out of combat? Because I'm picturing it. You don't cast this until people start going down. Then you cast it. You bring people back up. If your concentration is maintained through the end of the fight, you still got time left.
It does give it a really big, meaningful upside that the out of combat use is a giant pile of hit points. So, like, if you do get to a point towards the end of a fight and only 1 person's down or only 2 people are down, 2 is I have a harder line like issue with, just because I'm wondering what fight has 2 people down, the monster's also about to die, and you're like, I'll just hit it with my hammer, that'll kill it, and then my bonus action still gets somebody else up. Like, I'm not sure that fight's gonna work out, so you're gonna have concentration to this at the end of it, or at least there won't be casualties or something like that. It can exist, but a lot of the time I think this is gonna happen where you get 1 person up with it consistently, and then that's kind of like a 3rd level Healing Word, but you're stapling the extra 64 hit points to it or whatever, right? So, like, that does sound very appealing as well, I do have this 3rd level slot lying around. I don't need to use it for Revivify here, and that's often what you'll have it banked for. So you go Aura Vitality instead, because I'm within 30 feet of this person, get them up, and then from there on out, you're, like, just going to give out the hit points because the fight's probably, hopefully, over. That seems like a fine use case. It's not something you ever really want to have to do mid-fight, though, right? Like, if you expect a fight to have 3 or more rounds left in it, I'm really skeptical that you'd want to be spending your action casting this and then bonus action to get somebody up, because it does take your whole turn, where Healing Word only takes a bonus action part of your turn, and there's a pretty big difference there. If there's multiple people down already, I want them all up right now if the fight is going to not go in our favor otherwise. And a lot of the times that is the case. A lot of the times, if you're going in this kill or be killed kind of gameplay, not getting everyone up right now to get actions back immediately, the fight isn't going to be won anyway. You're going to keep getting knocked down over and over and over again if Mass Healing Word, or if Aura Vitality is your option instead.
All right. Go on this journey with me. I just thought of this.
Take me on this journey, Bob.
A use for Sanctuary.
You lost me.
All right.
I want to go on a different journey.
All right. Sanctuary. It doesn't require concentration, so you can have these both up at the same time. It ends if you cast a spell, but if you cast this first and then Sanctuary yourself, then you can still have your aura going.
The rare instance where the cast of Sanctuary being a bonus action is a detriment to it, because then you lose a round of healing or getting the aura healing to give somebody a backup.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, all right, action I set this up, bonus action I heal somebody. Or, yeah, because you can't Sanctuary the same turn. Next turn, no action, bonus action Sanctuary. Round after that, you start healing.
Okay. It's not great, but does it work like I think it does?
Yes. That will then work the way you think it does.
So, yeah, people, unless they pass their wisdom saving throws, they're not going to be attacking me. My concentration remains. I can just stroll through the angry ogres, and all my friends are getting hit points. That's all right.
I think all your friends might not be about to die if you've not spent 2 spell slots doing fat nothing for the first 2 rounds or whenever you decide to do this.
2 spell slots and 2 turns.
Yeah. That does not seem ideal. I'm gonna not lie to you about that. I did like that you took me on that journey. That was a fun journey.
All right, would it would it be improved if you had a sorcerer dip in there and you quickened this one?
Quickened Aura of Life? Then you can't heal with the bonus action the same turn anyway either.
All right, never mind.
So I think the actual play pattern that you're looking at that makes slightly more sense is you Sanctuary first, and then next round you action heal, and then you're not wasting a full extra turn, you're only wasting half of a turn.
But if
so you could
Sanctuary
mace attack, bonus action Sanctuary, and then next turn Aura Vitality immediately. Oh, you're right.
Because you can't cast a spell.
Sanctuary.
Yeah.
God, that's so bad.
Yeah, otherwise, you could have just used your bonus action and then your action, right? Whatever. We don't have to go on this journey anymore. All right, are you falling asleep?
No, I'm checking. Okay, no, we're still good. If the warded creature makes an attack or casts a spell that affects an enemy, that's what causes the Sanctuary to end.
Okay,
so you can set up Sanctuary first.
All right, genius plan then.
Not a genius plan. Don't do that. That's just, you're wasting turns in combat when you should be trying to end the combat.
I mean, now I get to sit back and enjoy the combat.
No, you don't enjoy anything. You just watch your friends die.
But I'm bringing them back. It's like gladiatorial combat. I am enjoying it.
You're just sitting there applauding and being like, get back up, I'm not done watching you get your ass beat.
Exactly.
It sounds sadistic.
All right. Where were we before the journey?
The in and out of combat utility flexibility of this thing. The thing is, as a cleric, I don't often want to have Revivify prepared and another emergency heal banked and Healing Word. And I don't know if I'm ever banking Aura Vitality over Healing Word or Revivify. Just the games I tend to play in aren't loaded with 4 combats per long rest, 3 combats per long rest. Often it's 1 to 2. And it's just because the way you get a bunch of adults together is once a week at best for 2 to 3 hours. And normally that's the DM plans to play that adventure in that window and not have these big gaps where you're three-parting a 40-room dungeon and trying to get 6 or 7 encounters to load up the whole thing. It just doesn't. That play pattern doesn't functionally happen in a lot of the tables that I play at, which is where I think Aura Vitality's extra hit points is going to actually matter, right? I'm not seeing hit dice get regularly expended to 0. I'm not seeing hit dice get regularly expended. Yeah. So, I don't expect this quantity of extra hit points to be that important at a large amount of the big cinematic set piece style long rests abundant kind of encounters that D&D 5th edition is kind of like infamous for, I would say, at this point.
No, you're right about that. It, still, I feel like you can't discount that
Yeah,
that use
I
out of
definitely think
combat healing.
I think if you're at a table that is playing this closer to the way that the player's handbook expected you to be playing 5th edition, where you have a genuinely large amount of combats between long rests, it gets quite a bit better. I think even if you're doing, again, like more than 2, this is probably worth your time. If you don't know if you're playing in that table, chances are, I would guess you're probably not. But again, that's my own bias based on the games that I've run and been used to playing in. I also the games that I've seen online, like the big Let's Plays and Dimension 20s and Critical Role and stuff. I don't see them running really grindy D&D. Most of it is people like their long rests. They like to use their cool features, so they get them a lot. So like I don't think you should expect to need this. I do think if you're going into a game with a bunch of veterans or like big tabletop gaming people, you would probably want to consider this substantially heavier. And at those tables, this is, I would say, a 3. It is fine. It is a large chunk of healing. It serves 2 roles, which makes it a lot more appealing to me. I don't want to have to cast this in combat if I have healing word up. If I know the encounter is about to end and I still have a 3rd level slot banked for Revivify, and I'm sure I'm getting a rest soonish, maybe then I want to cast this. But there's still like a lot of asterisks there that I'm concerned about. Maybe it's like a mid-tier spell where you're okay burning your last 3rd level slot on this. I could see that could possibly being a window where it's like, yeah, we probably won't need to Revivify if I use this now. Maybe. There's still a lot of hiccups along the road.
I haven't actually used it in combat, and I feel so. I'm going into my opinion. Having said that, I would do this, and I might regret it, and that would be fun.
Sure. I would
So,
say for mid-tier games where you have you're a lot of damage dealers around, it's probably fine.
so you said 3 with a caveat of a particular kind of table. Is that are you sticking with 3 in
I think
general, or?
I think that for most people it should be a 2. For those tables, it's a 3. Those will be my grades. Commoners, let me know if you think this is a 4 or a 5. I don't see it, but
Nah, I don't see it as a 4 or 5, but I'm gonna give it a more general 3.
Hmm.
I have faith in it. All right. Well, that was
These grades
Aura
don't
of
mean anything.
Vitality. What's that? Oh
These
no,
grades
they
don't
don't.
mean anything.
All right, that was Aura of Vitality. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. Let us know what you think down in the comments below, and like and subscribe to the channel for more of this fun. Bye bye.